Next is the skill to read the opponent defender movements. What's the opponent doing with his defender that moment? That icon on top of the opponent's defender represents the defender. The opponent is controlling that moment, and if that defender is moving towards your player, this means the opponent is pressing your player to challenge for the ball. Here you need to pass away the ball immediately. Look for your free player and pass the ball to him quickly. Or you can turn away and use our basic dribbling technique we discussed in the first video. So if you didn't watch it, check the link in the description. Turning away from that pressure and protect the ball, using fake turning dribbles, or if you can react fast enough, try and beat that defender either by dribbling him one-on-one, using some tricks in your arsenal, or using the pass and move technique, but we will discuss this later. And if that defender is not moving towards your player, this most of the times means the opponent is watching your passes, he's cutting your passing lanes that moment. Here you can try and look for another passing options. If the player you intended to pass to can't receive the ball, the passing lane is blocked, you have another 9 players all over the pitch. Or still you can take your time on the ball, you can keep on moving forward, dribbling around, take your time on the ball and force your opponent to make a decision. Though some opponents are too smart for this, they can do the both at that moment, cutting the passing lane, and also move towards that player. You need to react the same way also. If the opponent is cutting the passing lane, don't just wait for him to approach the ball, look for another option, or expect him to move towards your player. If you expect, then you will be ready to react also. Cutting passing lanes, you take your time on the ball, approach your player, turn away, or pass the ball. Any instinct that comes into your brain that moment. So what's the importance of observing the way the opponent is moving his defender? 1. You avoid giving the ball cheaply by passing into a closed passing lane. Seeing the defender, you can know what to do. 2. This also prevents from making late unnecessary decisions. If the opponent is approaching your player and you're less aware about this because you're not observing that defender, then you find yourself into a situation where you panic and make rushy decisions. So the earlier, the better. Always be aware and react very fast. My final tip is to sometimes expect, the better the opponent, the more you will see this happening. Don't just wait the opponent to cut that passing lane and react. Sometimes expect the opponent will do that and plan your move earlier, especially if the opponent is good. One of the most important manual skills you need is to control your off-ball players. You need to manually tell them what to do using your controller in the game. And we have many ways to do this in a lot of different ways, but we shall focus on the main important basic ones, the one you begin with. And the first is to send your player forward. You need to trigger your off-ball player to run forward during your attacking phase, and we have a lot of ways to do this. The first is the pass and move, where you hold both the L1 plus the pass button X. The player, after passing the ball, he will right away start running forward. The next one is the L1 trigger, where you point the left stick analog towards the player you want to send forward, then tap the L1 to activate that command. He will instantly run forward. The benefits or effects of sending player forward. 1. It creates more passing options forward. If you manage to progress forward, you will have multiple passing options. The most important one is that it creates that through pass opportunity. Sending that player forward, you will make the possibility of an effective through pass that moment. 2. It creates the dribbling space. If you send players forward, you're giving work to your opponent, because he have to track those runs, leaving your ball holder free and not being pressured. That's the time you need to drive forward. Lastly, it adds that speed into your attack. You move forward really quickly, because you move with multiple passing options, especially through pass opportunities. Then you need to also call your players to receive the ball, by pointing the left stick analog towards the player you want to call. Then tap on the R1 on your controller to activate that command. This helps you to create that passing option. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you have no passing options, players are running forward. Calling that player short to receive the ball will help you to escape that situation. This tool is important when maintaining possession. My final tips are, don't send center backs forward. If you lose the ball in your build-up, then you will be in a big trouble. Lastly, try to play some manual football. Don't always wait your player to make that run for you, or come near to receive the ball. Sometimes do it by yourself and you will see a massive impact from that. It's always pass and receive pattern. You pass and receive the ball a lot of times. This becomes predictable, and good opponent can spot your next pass and react to your routine of receiving the ball first. So you need to implement tic-tac football into your gameplay. That one touch will make a massive impact. Sometimes you will see that your ball receiver is tightly marked by the opponent's defender. Here passing the ball first time is the best choice. Here you can escape this situation. Playing one-touch football will give hard time for your opponent to react sometimes. This gives him really hard time to do his defense job. As the ball moves very fast, the opponent cannot feel safe here. The one-touch football really works well, especially this area around the box. If you're cutting from the wing back to the center area, sometimes implement one-touch pass and you will see how you take the ball easily to the opponent's box. That one touch to your striker will give no time for the opponent to react. Tic-tac is easy if you plan your passing patterns earlier before even the ball reaches that particular player. You should plan your moves inside your head. The skill moves that you should not lack from your arsenal. These are 3 skilled moves you need to first master, and always use them in your build-up, and they can be used everywhere all over the pitch. Number 1 is the ball roll. To perform this skill move you hold the right analog 90 degrees away from your player, and you will see that ball roll animation. You can use this skill move to open up passing angles. If the pass lanes seem to be difficult for your player to pass the ball, use the ball roll to open that angle and pass the ball. A lot of pros like to use this technique in these situations. Another one is to also open up that shooting angle. Sometimes in the box you will find yourself facing in the direction where it's difficult to beat the goalkeeper. Using the ball roll, it will open up this angle, strike the ball and score. Ball roll can also beat defenders, but this is not effective as it was in the past FIFA series, but still there are certain situations where you use it and it works, especially if the defender is not too close to your player. Then lastly you also use the combination of ball roll plus left analog dribble, faking directions in some situations, or making turns. You ball roll and then use the analog to turn away. This works best in a lot of situations. The next skill move is the fake shot stop, where you press circle on your controller, plus X, and don't press anything else on your controller, just circle and X, combination to perform this simple skill. This works well if the opponent is overcommitting to a certain direction, like during running scenarios. Here you perform the fake shot stop, and then turn away from pressure, especially on the wing. You can also stop and pass the ball if possible. The last skill move is the directional fake shot, where you press circle and X, but adding that direction on your controller. You can use it to beat defenders. I don't know why some players don't use this skill move. It works best in a lot of situations, especially when creating that shooting angle. You use fake shot inside the box, very effective, and score. Those are the skills. We have many overpowered skilled moves on the game, but today we are just looking at the basics. The best passing pattern on the game, the basic and the meta, is to pass in a triangle pattern, where you move the ball between 3 players that moment, from player A to player B, or to player C, or from A to C then to B. Any pattern works, and it depends. So you need to vision 3 players, the ball holder, and the other 2 players. This will improve your attack and make it unpredictable if you use it well. So if the opponent marks one player, you don't waste time scanning for another pass. You already know your next move. To understand this more, check our video explaining about this, link in the description. You can also plan your move using these 3 players, like here I send this player forward, but I don't pass to him directly. I first pass to this player, then make a first time lob through pass, find that player and run freely with my player in behind and score. All of the basics we have looked at, combine them and attack unstoppable like a beast. It takes time to master these strategies and use them consistently. That's why you need to work on them one by one. On the side of defense tutorials, we shall continue with our series videos. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.